to my channel. I am Renee, and today we're going to switch things up a little bit. I'm actually going to be getting ready for a girls' night out that I'm having in a couple hours. But I also wanted to do a mom tag that I watched Miss Africa, I hope I'm pronouncing that right, do on her channel. I'm going to link her channel below. Make sure you go check her mom tag out. And I'm just going to be chit-chatting with you ladies, sharing some information about myself as a mom. So if you're interested, stay tuned. So I've already moisturized. I'm shining like a light bulb. You ladies, I do have my mirror here. If you ladies want to know anything that I'm using, just ask me down below and I will fill you in. Okay. So the first question for the mom tag was, what is my favorite mom hack? Now, I do have a few, and I was like, how am I going to pick just one? So I was like, I'm just going to base it off of the month. Recently, I purchased a crock pot. Now, I know I'm super out of the game and late on that, but hey, don't judge me. I didn't used to be much of a cooker, so honestly, do not judge me. But I just recently bought one, and it has been an absolute lifesaver. So for this month, especially since it's getting a little cooler here in Atlanta, that crock pot has been like everything to me, because being able to put on dinner in the morning before I leave to go to the office, put it on a low heat setting, and by the time I come home have dinner literally ready is just absolutely amazing to me. It saves me so much time. It saves me, well, not saves, but it gives me extra sleeping time, because my food prepping for dinner is literally cut down to 95%. Like, being able to come home, plate everyone's plate, everyone eats dinner, and we can be in the bed by 9:30, 10 o'clock is just, I love it. Without doing any rushing or, stressing myself out. I just absolutely love having that. So, shout out to the crock pot, okay? The next question was, what was the part of the day that I like the most? I would say the part of the day that I like the most is bedtime, and not because, I send the kids to bed and I don't have to worry about anyone anymore, but more so, I guess I could say before bedtime, because I really get to cuddle and snuggle, and we just wind down for the day, and I get to spend that quality time with my kids and Bae. I really, really get to get an insight on how their day was, if they had a good day, if their day was stressful, if they just outright had a bad day, we can discuss that as a family and be as one. And I think it's good because, as parents, we spend most of our time at work. We honestly don't get to spend that much time with our kids. Like, we're at work with our coworkers more than we are at home. What's my least like part of the day? It has to be the morning, because I'm not a morning person. Like, I'm really trying to work on that. And honestly, throughout the years, I have gotten so much better with accepting the fact that I have to get up at 6 o'clock in the morning and get up for work and make sure I get the kids out of here. But it's hard, especially when you're in your comfy bed, and I find it to be the hardest when I've had the best night of sleep, which is so weird. But when I sleep really good, I'm like, I do not want to get up. But, once I'm up, I'm dressed, I'm feeling good, I got the kids dressed and ready, it makes it much easier to go by. But that initial, like, get up, cold, out of the comfy bed, it's really difficult for you, girl. And don't laugh at my unibrow. This is literally how I've been doing my brows for years. Like, it works for me. It's my thing. If you don't like it, I feel sorry for you. The worst thing that someone has said to me while pregnant. Um, from what I can remember, which was my most recent pregnancy with my daughter, um, I suffered from hyperemesis, but me and Babe didn't know that at the time. I was just extremely sick. I couldn't keep anything down, not even water. I was stubborn. I did not want to go to the hospital. And so I called myself toughing it out. And of course, eventually I ended up going to the hospital because I just couldn't take it anymore. But I remember laying there one night and Babe was like, I think you're going to kill the baby. Like, because y'all, I was really that sick, and I'm sure a lot of you have heard about hyperemesis. But for him being a first-time dad, I don't think that he realized like exactly the impact of what he said. But yeah, he was just like, "I think you're gonna kill the baby," and I was not happy about his comment, of course, and also, of course, he apologized. With my son, oh my gosh, I was still in high school. I was extremely young, so there's probably me telling people I had these plans to prosper, despite the situation I have gotten myself into as far as being a teenage mother, and people just, just saying, how are you gonna do that? That's impossible. Making the situation about them because they didn't do what I was saying I wanted to accomplish, or their particular situation wasn't like the way that I was saying I wanted mine to be. They were really like, nope, you can't do that. That can't happen. That's impossible. And granted, I've made a lot of those things that I said I would happen. Um, so I'm happy more so for myself and my son, that I continued and pressed on despite what people felt they needed to say to me, in regards to doing what I said I was going to do. Number 5, baby names that we could not agree upon. So first, for my son, I could not come up with a boy name. Like, I literally couldn't. And his father actually ended up naming him, and his name is like a mixture of my name and his father's name, which is Jason. Obviously, the J is for your girl. So yeah, but so his naming was pretty fairly easy. Now for my daughter, I had a million different names. And what's so funny about it now that I'm thinking about it, I can't remember any of the other ones I did not have. I know I was exploring different languages for her name because I really wanted her name to have a strong meaning behind it. So I was exploring a lot of different languages, which means, different styles and different sounds of different letters and things like that. And my boyfriend is Haitian. So, I did also explore some names. I also explored my own name. I really wanted to name her Jalen. So my boyfriend was like, no, absolutely not. So there's your answer to, I can remember that one, wanting to name her my name, and that was an absolute no for him. Sleeping. I absolutely 100% co-sleep. My daughter has been sleeping with us since she got home from the hospital. I don't have any regrets about it. With my son, I did not co-sleep with him. I also did not breastfeed him. And I was also still in high school, and he was also my first baby. So there wasn't a lot that I knew. I didn't have that much experience. But yes, my daughter does sleep with her mommy and her daddy. Number 7, 3 hospital must-haves. Okay, so y'all, please don't judge me because, yeah, don't judge me. My must-have number 1, when it's time to have baby and go to the hospital. So I have to have chapstick and lip gloss, something on my lips, or I will be the most irritated person in the world. Like, my lips have to be moisturized because you're already in an environment where the air is dry. So moisture on the lips is a must for me. Number 2, my own personal robe. I do not want to wear a robe from the hospital. I want to be as comfortable as possible. So I want my own personal robe. And my makeup bag needs to be somewhere in the picture, just in case I want to do a cute photo op, or, I just want to make myself feel like myself. I know some of you are probably going to be like, really? She's a makeup bag? But honestly, it's important to me for me to feel like myself. Am I a routine mom, or am I a go with the flow mother? To answer that question, I'm a routine mom. I am a Capricorn, so I love to plan everything down to the T, and I get upset if it doesn't come out the way I wanted it to come out. But yes, I think routines just work better. For kids, it puts them in a mind frame of knowing exactly what's going to happen when it's going to happen. A lot of people may say, well, if you put them on a routine, then it's going to cause chaos when they get thrown off the routine. I don't think it'll cause chaos. I think it might. I think it might, and that definitely has the potential to cause some uncomfort, but chaos, no. And I think it helps them just naturally build the muscle to have a routine, to stick with their routine. And some areas in life that's good, some areas in life that's not so good. So they're going to have to be able to be mature and make those decisions as they grow older. But for me and my sanity and, the way my household works, definitely has to be a routine. Number 9, how is bedtime around here? So bedtime is usually smooth sailing because we run on a routine. Sometimes it's not always the best, especially with having a 1-year-old baby girl. She doesn't always go to bed on time. Sometimes she'll go to bed at 9:30. Sometimes she'll go to bed at 10:30. Sometimes she'll go to bed at 11:30. It honestly depends on the day, what she's done for the day, and how we feel, what we have planned for the night. But for the most part, bedtime is very, very smooth sailing around here. Like I said, we spend that family time together, and by that time, everybody pretty much knows, time to lay down. I'm going to tap on these lashes off camera really quick. Both lashes are on. So, labor. Did I use medicine? Did I get an epidural? Okay, so here's the deal. I'm one of those people who do not like medicine. I'm one of those people who do not like medicine. I'm one of those people that are not going to do something just because a doctor told me to do it. I definitely do my research. I do it based off of what I want to do, 100%, no one else. So for my son, I did get an epidural, mainly because I didn't know any other way. To me, that was the way, so I kind of lacked the knowledge. I didn't have the knowledge, as most so. And on top of that, I hid my pregnancy from my mother until I was like 6 months pregnant. So yeah, I definitely got an epidural with that. My son's birth, with my daughter's birth, it was totally different. There was a lot of things I refused. I don't want any vaccinations. They wanted to do some type of procedure on me. I refused that. So I was extremely picky on what was going on with my body, because it's my body and no one can tell me what to do with my body. So for my daughter, at the very end, I'm just like, oh my gosh, I cannot do this anymore. So the medication I did receive for her delivery was the medication they give you to induce your labor. So I did take that medication. Once once there was signs of contractions, even though I did not feel them, but looking on the charts, I did see signs of contractions, and that's when I completely stopped the medication. I did not want any more medication. So to answer that question for my daughter, I did receive medication to induce my labor. However, after that, everything was all natural. It was the craziest experience I've ever experienced in my life. But my nurse, oh, you don't get a reward for going natural. I wasn't in it looking for a reward, like my daughter was the reward, but it was just the way that I wanted to do it, and everything was fine. A couple pushes, she was out. My body felt great after I got done delivering her, so that was my choice, and that's what I did. Um, Number 11, have I been mom shamed? Have I been mom shamed? Have I? Yeah, just a lot. My first pregnancy with my son, as well as my second pregnancy with my daughter, and you know, my first pregnancy was more, oh, you're a teenage mom, you don't know what you're doing. How are you gonna do this? Blah 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 blah. But unfortunately, the mom shaming I received from my daughter was like a more personal thing, and it sucks because um, I still haven't 100% addressed this with this person, and I'll keep the person anonymous, obviously. But it just sucks when people show their true color, when they feel a certain way about you, and you haven't really done anything to them for them to feel that way towards you. It sucks, and especially when it's people that you don't even know for sure if they have your best interest at heart, people you don't communicate on a daily basis with, people that honestly are not really a part of your life. Like, it just sucks. So when my second pregnancy was announced, um, my son was living with my mother in my hometown at the time because I was transitioning here to Atlanta, and my mother, wanted me to transition here. I don't have any family here. Well, some family, but yeah, not people that I speak with. But so I was literally starting over on my own. I didn't have as much stability as I should have as a mother, and my mom stepped in and she said, "I will take JC on until you get stable." And so during that time frame, I worked my butt off. I was working my butt off and, building and stabilizing an environment for my son. Well, of course, in the meantime, I met my babe, and, we got together. We were in a very serious relationship. Obviously, we still are. Um, he was wonderful, and I got pregnant. So, my mother was aware, obviously, of my pregnancy. She was the first person I told outside of my babe. So, um, when my pregnancy was announced, it was not announced by me, but I gave someone else the permission to announce my pregnancy. And the response I got from most people was the typical response you would expect from people. Congratulations. Um, I'm so happy that you're having a girl. Oh, I know this little girl's going to be so spoiled, especially if you know me, and, how I've always wanted a little girl, and you know how I like to dress up and things like that. But this particular person um, commented in a way that was extremely degrading to me, throwing major shade because they were aware that my son was with my mother, and they just felt that I was totally wrong, um, for being pregnant. And honestly, I don't know what they wanted from me. Um, I really don't know. Like, did you want me to abort my baby? Did you want me to be miserable and not announce my pregnancy? Like, I still cannot understand for the life of me what this person wanted from me. Um, but unfortunately, it turned into commenting back and forth that was petty, very immature. Uh, oh, this baby is going to be spoiled by blah, blah, blah. And, I have to defend myself because I am an adult, and, I am in a relationship, and, I am a mother, and you're going to have to respect me. I don't care who you are, what you feel your position is, but you're gonna have to respect me because I'm not a kid anymore. I'm an adult. I pay bills just like you pay bills, you know. And outside of that, I don't speak to you commonly every day. The situation is not affecting you firsthand. Um, so stay in your place. And it was just sad because the post was literally me announcing my pregnancy, and it really sucked, So I feel like in that moment I was mom shamed. Um, it was almost like this person felt like I didn't have the right to be a mother, um, because of where my son was living. Technically, literally because of where my son was living at that time. But no fear, shortly after that, I did get my son from my mother and made his permanent home here in Atlanta. So, question number 12. The biggest challenge I face as a mom. I think the biggest challenge I face is just um, wanting to do certain things, but not being able to do it right at that moment. You have to think, you have to budget out, you know, you have to really put some thought into making that next step and that next move because, a lot of people say, yeah, take risk, and I always say, yeah, take risk, but, if that risk is between you spending $1,000 on rent or investing $1,000 into something else, you really might want to rethink that as a mom. So I, I wouldn't say. I guess it's both. I think it's a challenge, and I think it's also a reward. Things that you're gonna do, those sacrifices you're gonna make as a mom. You know, it's it's just how it is. Honestly, it's just how it is. And with my son being the primary parent, and literally trying to push the other party to be what you feel that they can be if they just put a little bit more effort, that's a huge challenge as well. Um, Number 13, best advice I've been given. Um, so the best advice I have been given in regards to me being a mother and, making that transition into a mother is just doing, and I think this is life advice. I'm sorry, I'm closing this so I don't spill it everywhere. Doing that thing that is going to make you happy, like making that decision, making that move, doing whatever it is that you feel is the best decision for you and your children. Forget what anyone else has to say. Forget what their thoughts are. Forget what they think is already available to you. If you want to pick up and move 20,000 miles away because you feel like that's better for your kids, then damn it, do it. Do not hold yourself back because of fear. And once I got that advice, like I really didn't even fully understand it. I really didn't understand what it meant. I knew that I always wanted bigger and more for my kids, though. I knew that for sure, but I didn't necessarily know what it meant to overcome my fear or overcome doubt or get rid of those people that were telling me I couldn't, or just put them on pause because they weren't giving me that bad advice because they hated me or they wanted to see me fail. They were giving it to me because they lacked the knowledge or the experience to go through, to become better and bigger and see bigger and better. So I really didn't quite understand it, but I was willing to take the risk because I knew the lifestyle that I wanted. I knew what I wanted for my kids, and so that was the most greatest advice ever. And number 14 is asking, what advice would I give to a mother, what advice I would give to a mother? And honestly, I would give that same advice that I just shared that I got. Do not limit yourself, because limiting yourself means you're limiting your kids. Like, to me, whatever I do is a reflection of what my kids are going to do or what they're going to see. So if I push past my fear, guess what? My kids are going to build a muscle to push past fear as well. And with kids today, you never know how far they'll go. It's so much there. It's so much they are exposed to. It's so much that they see, and your decisions and what you do could be a determined factor in your children's life. Literally, like, you could be the yes or the no for them. So I would just give a mother that same advice. Do not let fear push you in a corner. Do not let other people push you in a corner, no matter if they're family. I don't care. You have to set a boundary. You have to know what you want for your own family, and you literally have to go and get it. If you don't, if you wait around for people because of the way you think they will feel, because you think they might cut you off, it's okay, because if they think that way, then they really should not be a part of your life anyway. So yeah, those are I believe it was 14 questions. I hope I didn't miss any. And I'm just about done with this makeup here. I just gotta put on my lip for the night, and my lip. So I hope you ladies enjoy the answers to these questions. I am going to be tagging other moms below. If I tag you, please don't be offended. Just trying to meet some new people and get their perspective of things. And thank you ladies for tuning in, and see you next time.